Hello and welcome to Rotterdam, host city to round 4 of the Red Bull Air Race World Series. Nick Fellows and Frank Versteeg giving you the full report of qualifying round. And the first story to report is that of the weather once again on this World Series, Frank.
Yeah, although you wouldn't believe it looking outside now, we're in the middle of the eye of the depression causing havoc and all kind of nasty situations. It was raining like cats and dogs. It looked like London. It was awful. We even had pylons exploding, and that was the reason we unfortunately had to cancel the second round of qualifying.
Now, due to his disqualification in training run 3, Mike Mangold was first up, but very exciting news indeed. A brand new manoeuvre, Frank.
Yes, we have not seen anything before like this. What normally happens before people change the knife edge to a different angle is that they roll in the opposite direction. This time, both Mangold and Ark pushed negative G's. That means you push yourself outside the cockpit, you hang in your seatbelts, and then they fly through the chicane. And because they have been former team members and the name was Cobra Team, we decided to call this maneuver as the Cobra Maneuver.
Now, we talked about Hannes Ark there, Frank. He didn't have such a good day. He was fastest in training too, looking very confident. And of course, everybody's talking about this new space age canopy, but it didn't all go the Austrian's way today.
Well, he invested a lot of money in this canopy and it was hidden like a very well-kept secret. But obviously, he forgot to clean his windscreen because he didn't see the mistakes coming. He had 6 penalty seconds. Of course, it brought him back to place number 8, and he barely made the Super 8, which for a man of his standing is not a good performance.
The man who was fastest in the one and only qualifying round in Rotterdam today was the current World Series leader, Paul Bonhomme. He had broken the track record earlier this week, but for the first time, we saw him make mistakes, although he was fastest.
I call it the most spectacular run we've seen the whole day here at the first qualifying session in Rotterdam. He came in at a very high speed, he had a very precise flight, and we saw at the first pull-up he was definitely going to make it. But then, his little mistake, he over-rotated in the quadro a little bit too much, so 3 seconds penalty. But even with 3 seconds penalty, he was faster.
Let's turn the clock back 3 years. The last time we raced here in Rotterdam was 2005, and this gentleman was an air race pilot, not a commentator. Frank, back in that race here, you nearly beat Paul Bonhomme. So my final question for you, what do the rest of the air race pilots have to do here in Holland to beat the British #1?
Yeah, well, in the old days, I was a fast pilot, but not fast enough. And of course, a lot of changes, new airplanes, and the general times became much faster. But I almost beat Mangold in the old 2-seater, and he made a few little mistakes, and I was fast. But as I recall from Rotterdam here, coming under the Erasmus Bridge at 412 kilometers, there was a speed camera, and I was penalized 10 seconds. Typical Dutch, the speed cameras. But to fly faster, I must say, especially at these tracks, work on your airplanes, reduce drag, make sure your airplane is fast in straight and level lines.
So that was the news of qualifying. Let's take a look at a very important results update. Confirmation that Bonhomme, the fastest here, won 2071, 0.35 behind Mangold and Chamblis, Jones, Bergenet, Lam, Goulian and Ark making up the Super 8. McLean, Ivanov, Rachmanin and Dell will go to the 0.1 fly-off. So that's it for our first report from Rotterdam. A very exciting qualifying as we look forward to the big race.
We zien u terug bij de race. Tot ziens.
It's goodbye for now.